Our next and final review of the day is going to be for the film Red One, which is starring Chris Evans and Dwayne The Rock Johnson here. This is directed by Jake Katzton. Jake Katzton, who also worked with The Rock in the previous Jumanji films. There, he did Jumanji: The Next Level and Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle. There, he's also done Sex Tape. He's also done Bad Teacher. There, um, and he also directed Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story. He also directed that movie as well. So, and I love the first Jumanji movie. I liked the Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle. I actually thought that was pretty good there. And so he's back again with this film, Red One here. Nice. I think is this the first holiday movie we've gotten this year for Christmas? I think.
I think so far, first major one.
Yeah, well, I mean, depends on how you define major because this is not doing well in the box office.
Mm,
This has a budget of $250 million, and
my God.
it's made 331 million so far, so it's not
Ooh.
tracking so well. But yeah, I think this is kind of the first big Christmas movie we've got, anticipating Christmas upcoming there. So what is this movie about? So you have Dwayne the Rock Johnson, who's basically he's the bodyguard, he's the head of Santa Claus security there for the North Pole. And Santa Claus in this, who's played by J.K. Simmons. So I guess that's why he was doing all that working out for that
Yeah.
picture you saw him lifting those dumbbells where he looked all jacked. But then the next movie, he's Commissioner Gordon, and then he's
Yeah.
covered in like a 10-pound trench coat. And it's like, what the hell
Ah,
was this? What the hell was that picture for?
and
But I guess
I
I don't
know.
know. It paid off. It finally worked out for him to use that.
He
Use that.
didn't stop.
He
He kept
didn't.
on going. He didn't quit. He kept going to the gym.
Yeah. I mean, hey, somebody has to look good wearing them tight ass black t-shirts, man, like
I
in
mean,
Whiplash.
I mean, God bless him for it. Man is jacked.
Yeah, good for him. I think he's in his 70s. I think 60s.
60s, late
Late
60s, I think.
late 60s there. So yeah, good on J.K. Simmons there. So he's Santa Claus, and he gets kidnapped. He gets kidnapped by an evil witch, and
Mhm.
then it's up to Dwayne Johnson and Chris Evans. Chris Evans, who's a what they say level full class for
Yeah,
naughty.
he's a level 4 naughty lister.
Yeah, because of all his dirty deeds, he's such
Mm,
just a rapscallion. He's just such just a dirty doer. He even steals candy from a baby. I
he
mean, who does
does.
that? I mean, Jesus. So he's just such a bad guy.
It's so over the top.
Yeah. So I actually you got to kind of like it a little. You know what I mean? Like he
No,
literally.
at a certain point, you're like, "Oh, you're just a jerk for the sake of doing it."
Yeah. So yeah, he's this expert hacker, bounty hunter guy, and so he's the one that actually found Santa Claus, which led to the witch kidnapping Santa Claus. And so The Rock and him team up to go get him back there, and they go on a bunch of adventures there. Rounding out the cast, you also have Lucy Liu, who's in this movie as well, who plays like a head of magic, whatever, like shield, I guess, magic shield that they have kidnapping,
Yeah,
capturing magical
they
creatures.
call it, Mora, Mythological Oversight and Restoration Authority.
Yeah. So whatever. Okay,
Whatever
that.
the heck that look, they just take care of supernatural creatures and they keep the peace.
Yeah. You also have Kierman Sumka there, who we just saw in a movie this year, Long Legs. She was just in Long Legs there. She was also in Twisters. And that
How
as
did
well.
she go from those movies to then this one?
Yeah. I mean, hey, in those movies, she gets killed off. So she doesn't get killed off, and well, actually, she does. Well, she does
It's
get killed.
yeah. She was in
Uh,
Totally Killer too.
Totally Killer. Yeah, she was in that as well. And people might know she played Sabrina. She was Sabrina in the.
I
Uh,
remember her most from The Black Coat's Daughter.
Yeah, she's Black daughter. Also, she was the Sally Draper. She was the daughter of that for John
Yeah.
Hamm and Mad Men. So yeah, good career for her. They're kind of coming up there. I wouldn't say this is a career highlight, but
No.
yeah, still good career there for her there. Um, so yeah, Evil Witch there, kidnap Santa. They got to go get him back. That's basically what you got here. Hijinks ensue, all that good stuff there. Yeah. So this leading up to this movie, I just couldn't believe that this was real. I thought this was, it kind of looks like one of those movies that you'd see in another movie that characters go see and go like they walk out of it and go like, man, what the fuck was
Yeah.
that? Like, man, Hollywood is really going down. It kinda looks like that. I thought also it was kind of a Netflix film, like, this looks like one of those Netflix
Yes, this
type
looked
movies.
exactly like a Netflix film.
Especially with the huge budget this has, like I said, this budget is $250 million. What did they spend it on? I don't know. I mean, maybe that must have just went mainly just to The Rock.
It
Uh,
meant to it went to Chris Evans, The Rock, and J.K. Simmons,
yeah,
and
uh,
the overabundance of CGI in this movie.
yeah. The CGI that doesn't even look that good.
No, it's all blurry because you know they couldn't finish it in time, and they weren't allowed to give their time, so they had to make it all blurry.
Yeah, because like, you look at, like, in this scene here, I don't know if he'll come up in this scene, but there's a polar bear there,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
he does, who doesn't look
Garcia.
good, like, doesn't look good, obviously looks like a fake CGI creature, and you go like, "Well, of course, it's a talking, walking polar bear, how's it good it's gonna look?" But there's been things they've done that have looked good, like, even, like, the Hulk and, like, the Avengers movies it looks like they're actually in the scene physically there, it just doesn't look like it's just a CGI creation there. So yeah, it's like the effects don't look that good, it just kinda like I said, the reason I thought it was a Netflix movie was because that it's like it just with Netflix movies sometimes it's like they'll have a super high budget, but it just like they're trying to coast off of celebrity talent. It's like, hey, we got this person and this person. We got The Rock and we got Ryan Reynolds and we got Gail
I
Gadot.
was just about to say,
Let's just put them all in a movie together and it'll all work out. It'll people will just go see it because people like these people and they'll just
they'll
go
tune
like
in.
they'll tune into it
Or,
and they'll
"Hey, we have Kurt Russell's as Santa Claus," and then
yeah.
that did surprisingly well, enough to do a sequel.
Yeah. So it's like, sure, let's just throw all these big names into a movie. People are going to be attracted to it. That's does our job already. We don't need, fuck a script,
Yeah,
fuck a good writing. Nah, you know what I mean? Nah, we don't need that.
we got
Good
Marvel
direction,
jokes to make.
like, nah, we don't need none of that. So I'm gonna pass to you, Dust. What are your thoughts on Red One here?
Uh, I don't hate it.
Okay.
Uh,
High praise.
this I don't hate it. This movie is a CGI, uh honestly, it's just a CGI mismatch of some practical effects and just over the top acting. The script, like you said before, script? What's that? We got to get to the next scene. Let's go. Let's go. Come on. We have a bare bones script. The plot is pretty simple. Santa Claus gets kidnapped. Got to find Guy. Got to find Santa. And they go to place because that's the next set piece they have to go to. There are certain moments when they picks up certain moments. You go, why didn't you just do that in the first place? But they had to wait until a scene had to happen before they thought of that. It's I'm gonna be perfectly honest. Dwayne the Rock Johnson. Do you remember any of the characters in this movie?
Oh, like their names or
Yeah, no, you don't, because they're Dwayne the Rock Johnson. This is Chris Evans. We got Lucy Liu. We got J.K. Simmons.
mm,
That they are their characters. We don't. There's not a single character aside from Christopher Huja, who plays Krampus, that at least is trying under all that makeup.
mm. Which it was good makeup. I thought that
Yeah,
was pretty good.
no,
When they actually do that scene, I was like, "Yeah, that's pretty good makeup, I think, for him." And
yeah.
some of the other creatures there that were with them, I was like,
That is
"Okay, some
probably
of."
the most interesting part of this movie. The mythological creatures in this movie was probably the most entertaining for me. Is oh, that's actually kind of nice. They talk about different mythological creatures, different things in the world as if it exists. Yeah, they're just going by real quick and just going, yeah, this is real. Yeah, this exists. Yeah, okay. And you're
Yeah,
like,
the
I
lore.
mean, it's kind of neat, I guess. In a better movie, this would have been better explained. This could have been a Hellboy situation where a character gets into a weird world and it's kind of more interesting than what happens.
Mm.
Right from the very beginning of this movie, Dwayne the Rock Johnson makes a jump off a building that I was like, "Oh, you're dead," and that let me know right away. Oh, this is this kind of a movie.
Well, they do say he's not human.
Yeah, but then Chris Evans survives things and is able to maneuver around people. I'm like, what training do you have?
Yeah. I mean, I guess you could say because his years of crime, I guess you can kinda excuse that a little bit. I mean, he gets into a fight with something at the end, I'm like, "You should be dead." I mean, the way that
Yes,
this creature is smacking
exactly.
you around, I was like, "Okay, you should be definitely
Yeah,
dead."
you're
The
just
rocket
dead.
makes sense, but you know it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, you don't
Um,
have no super serum.
uh, yeah, and yeah, I mean, I guess that's the biggest compliment I can give it is, like, I didn't actively hate it, you know? I mean,
I
uh
even chuckled a couple of times.
there was some moments I did chuckle. A little bit of the back and forth between him and The Rock is decent, and like I said, the Krampus scene, that's actually decent. Like some of the effects there they do, the makeup, that looks kind of good. Some of the creatures in that scene, like you can tell that some of the people just, all right, okay, we just whatever.
Yeah,
You
I
you
know
in the
we only
back,
got
you
time.
we gonna put some horns on you. There you go. There you go. You done. But I thought that was kind of decent, and get into like you said, kind of an established world where these things exist and that's kind of nice to play around with that of more kind of interesting creative talent maybe behind it other than just like, hey, we just want to showcase the stars, we want to showcase Chris Evans and The Rock. You could have maybe explored that more, explored a lot of this world more and this established kind of lore already we're dropped into, um in much more of an interesting better fashion. And I want to say that, should I say, like, you should, I mean, really watch this at home or go see it in theaters? I don't think it's really good for either that either, if you were really
Hmm.
doing that, and this movie kind of cribs from so many other different kind of better Christmas movies that they're trying to do, like, even the concept of, like, okay, trying to figure out the science of Santa Claus and how he's able to do all these things and deliver to all these houses. Did you ever see that movie, Arthur Christmas?
I love that movie.
So, it feels like they crib a lot of ideas from Arthur Christmas, because in that movie,
Yeah.
if you watch that movie, it's basically like Santa Claus has, like, a ninja squad. Like, he's got
Yeah.
his elves are like SEAL Team 6, and they go into the houses, and they do all this, and Santa Claus is basically just like a figurehead. He's basically at that point, he's just kinda like a figurehead, and he can't
Yeah,
really do
he's
much.
a figurehead, a long established figurehead who started it all off, and it's been moved on from generation to generation. And there's a lot of great, neat details in the background that they never explore in that movie. Uh,
Yeah.
they also have other elements of other Christmas movies, some better, some not. I actually got a lot of vibes of Santa Claus, the Disney movie with Tim Allen. Actually, got some vibes in this movie
Yeah.
where it's a little bit cynical, but it's not too biting. It's never anything more than just being like a little mean. Uh, Chris Evans' character is never. He's like, he's a bad guy, and he's super naughty and mean, but he's like a roguish scamp.
Yeah.
Even though he does some really hacking wise, he compromised an entire system. Like, that's some big crap. He should be going away for a long time.
Mm.
But
I mean, he does, like, he should be on the FBI watch
yes,
list.
correct. Yes, he should be on
Yeah.
the FBI watch list. But he's like, there was actually there's a character in this where you find out that he's I actually thought it's like, oh, okay, you're just like you're the bad uncle to blah blah blah, and then it's like, oh no, you got to pick up your son. I'm like, son, this guy is not capable of this guy's the kind of dude I wouldn't even like he just does not have the like, oh yeah, I was a dad and it just didn't work out, and it just felt like, oh, we're just softening things. This movie could have been a little bit more fun if he was much more of a rapscallion than he is, but I
Mm.
feel like Chris Evans still has that Captain America uh hovering over him,
That
just like Dwayne
sheen.
the Rock Johnson still has the I got to be the good guy.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, like you said, I mean, The Rock is playing The Rock. He's
Yeah,
still The Rock. He's still
he's never not played the Rock.
in Pain and Gain, I thought it was a little bit of different.
That
Like
is the most diverse he's done in his, like, characterization that he's ever done in any movie.
and I hope with the Safdie brothers movie coming up that he breaks away from that
I
too.
hope so too.
So I think that'll be good. And then in this movie, he doesn't look as freakishly huge as we've seen him before. I don't know if he's lost some weight, he toned down a little bit. He looks healthier, he looks good.
I think
Uh,
he's gotten some slack back because of how freakishly huge he's been and saying, "Oh yeah, no, it's all natural." And they're like, "There's no way in hell that you are all natural." And so he's been kind of slimming back on that apparently. I think he's also getting tired.
Mm,
Kind of like a lot of wrestlers, a lot of actors, especially like Chris Evans or um, not Chris Pine, sorry,
Chris Hemsworth.
Chris Hemsworth. Chris Hemsworth, he relaxed for a bit and then went, "No, I have to keep. I'm going to go back to the gym anyways, but do it natural."
Mm,
So like he's like, I stopped doing it for a while, and then I started getting horrible headaches, and I couldn't. I needed to go to the gym.
yeah.
So
What
he does it more for just to be healthy.
the hell is he doing at the gym? That he's like
I
he
don't know.
can't. Yeah.
That's what he gave. That's what he said. He's like, I stopped, tried to do it, stop for a while because I was getting tired of it, but then now I'm just doing it for me and doing it for
Okay.
my roles. And he's also a father now as well, so that's also
Mm,
different. Batista is also going like, I'm tired of being ripped.
yeah. He slimmed down a lot. He
Oh
slimmed
yeah,
down a lot too. Yeah, because he said just wasn't good for him, his health.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know.
No, no, yeah. That excessive amount of bulking up. I mean, I remember when they talked about it when oh my god, Wolverine, Hugh Jackman, when he talked about what he'd have to do, he's like, the worst part of bulking up for Wolverine was he would have to eat 4 chickens a day, like in combination to do like healthy protein. He's like, my jaw, it wasn't so much the workout that killed me, but it was my jaw having to eat so much protein.
Mm, man, must have punished that toilet.
Oh, yeah.
And then you got to work out all that after that.
Oh, yeah. No, he's like constant workout, constant this, constant that to be as ripped as you are during that time.
Oh man. So yeah, I mean, he looks a lot, kind of a little bit healthier here. Javon Goods. I'm guessing that Chris Evans is in loose clothes to hide his
Most
muscles.
likely.
Um, yeah, I guess I could see that because you don't want to, I guess make him look like,
He's supposed to be like a hacker everyman, but this guy is like a handsome dude. He just has some scruff on to make him look more disheveled and
yeah, because you can tell he's also kind of like he's supposed to be playing like a drunk too, like a drunk and degenerate gambler and everything
but
like
this is a
that.
kids movie, so you can't do that.
Yeah, so it's like it doesn't really do that good of a job at portraying that.
No.
It's just like, okay, I guess yeah, he's got a little scruff, but it doesn't like he doesn't look dirty. He doesn't look dingy. He doesn't look like he
Yeah.
smells or anything like that. It just kind of look like yeah, it's just like okay, it's still Chris Evans,
Yeah.
handsome Chris Evans. Um, you know, yeah. I mean, that's it. The biggest thing I give this movie is I just like you, Dusk. I didn't actively hate it. There's some okay things about it. Some of the chemistry between Chris Evans and The Rock is okay. There's some decent, funny moments in it that'll work. Some of the lore stuff that they get into of Christmas and the mythology around Christmas and some of the creatures there, even though they do look horrible in some of the CGI they do, um, it's just better when they just went practical. I think that would have worked a little bit better there. The villain, is typical villain. I wanna do villain stuff, nothing interesting about them whatsoever or their
But
plot.
the element of why they're doing what they're doing was interesting, but they don't go any further into their motivation and why they do that.
Yeah, because
So,
her whole
yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, no, go ahead.
Yeah, because her whole thing is that, they talk about the idea of, like, the naughty list, more people being on the naughty list than the nice list, and then her whole thing is, like, all the people on the naughty list, they're gonna pay, they're gonna learn to be nice. I'm gonna make them be nice if they don't
And
wanna
it's
be
not just you can kind of vibe with her at first with okay, people need to change. They need to be, her first is like, these things need to change and people need to do this. I'm like, okay, all right, I can kind of vibe with that. Maybe in a sense, you want to actually change the world and get naughty people out of the way, but like really naughty. But then it's for anyone who's ever told a lie, for anyone who's ever doing like, oh, that's just like, even Dwayne Rock Johnson brings up, that's literally almost everyone on the planet.
Yeah.
Like that criteria is so large and so specific. Then she's like, then the world will be ruled by good people and it'll be just. And you're like, there'll literally just be infants. That's it. Who haven't done anything yet.
Yeah, so she goes kinda crazy with it. And I think she's a good actress. I think I like that, but
Sure,
just
sure.
but
And I
her
would have liked to have gotten more. They bring up other things with like Krampus and other Christmas mythology or just winter solstice mythology. I'm like, I kind of would like to see more of this, but we don't have time for that.
Yeah. And this movie, it's 2 hours. It's 2 hours, but I feel like almost kinda nothing
Yeah.
happened in those 2 hours there. Um, for me, I would just give it a skip it for
Mm.
me. What about you?
Yeah, I'm kind of right there with you. There are better Christmas movies. There are better movies out there, and yet I didn't really hate it, but I can't really give it more. This has instead of being like a delightful surprise, or at least say, "Hey, it's not the most amazing thing ever," but I enjoyed it more than I thought. Like Jumanji, the sequel, not the original Jumanji with Ron Williams. This feels more like Jumanji, the next level,
Mm,
where you're like, all right, all the goodwill from that previous one and some of the good moments there have kind of been lost, and then you just pushed it to such a level where I'm just watching a cartoon where I don't hate it, but there's nothing really here that hasn't been done better for better subjects.
mm, yeah.
There are tons of great Christmas movies that have come out. Uh, some that are even horror movies, and a great horror movie that came out, I think, in like 2017, 2016 was Krampus. That's an excellent horror movie if you want to like a different kind of Christmas movie. Another is it was I believe a Norwegian movie called something Exports. I'm blanking on it, but that one's a good movie too, where you find out that Santa Claus is an elf, like an eldritch elf being. That's really a good one too. Uh,
Actually, another one J.K. Simmons starred in, where he was Santa Claus again, was the animated film Claus. Wasn't he in
yeah,
that?
he what Claus is a fantastic movie. That's on Netflix. You can watch it right now.
Yeah. That's way better where he
That
plays
has that also has one of the last performances of oh my god, Norman
Norm Macdonald.
Norm Macdonald is one of the last performances of Norm Macdonald.
Mm, yeah,
He's the sailor, old sailor guy.
yeah. So, like we said, people, there's better Christmas movies to watch there. I don't think this movie is gonna be in a lot of people's Christmas rotation there. I mean, yeah, I don't think a lot of people even gonna see it to begin with. I don't think it's gonna make its huge budget back. Like I said, this is a pretty
Oh
big
no,
budget.
it'll be lucky if it does. Rare Exports 2010. That was the movie.
Okay.
That's another solid one if you want more of a kind of a comedy slash bit more of a thriller Christmas movie. There's tons, and then there's just traditional Christmas movies, the classics and newer ones that have come out recently in the last 5 to 6 years. So many great ones out there.
Yeah.
This one falls into more of the lesser scale, far lesser scale, but it's not completely absolutely forgettable. But there's just so many other things to get to. If you somehow have run out of Christmas movies to watch, somehow in the many years they've come out, sure, why not?
I don't
When
even
this,
think you should even think you
but
still
I say
keep
sure. I'm
thinking.
saying sure, why not? If you want to, but honestly, there's so much out there, you really don't
Yeah.
need to.